Hello everyone, my name is Wang Fu and I'm 10 years old. Today I'm going to read my book On the Banks of the Plum Creek by Laura Ingalls Wilder, as read by Garth Williams. So, you ready? Let's go. So today we're going to read Until I Stop, starting with Moving In. In the sunny morning month, Laura helped carry everything from the dugout up to the top of the bank and load it in the wagon. Laura hardly dared look at Pa. They were bursting with a secret surprise from Ma. Ma did not suspect anything. She took hot ashes out of the little old stove so that Pa could handle it. She asked Pa, "Did you remember to get more soap pipe?" "Yes, Caroline," Pa said. Laura did not laugh, but she choked. "Goodness, Laura," Ma said. "Have you got a frog in your throat?" David and Sam hauled the wagon again, across the ford and back over the prairie, up to the new house. Ma and Mary and Laura, with armfuls of things, and Carrie toddling ahead, went over the footbridge and up the grassy path. The salt of the path with its Bolton shingle roof was all golden on the snow, and Pa jumped off the wagon and waited to be with Ma when she saw the cook stove. She walked into the house, door shut. Ma opened the shut and said quickly, "My land!" Laura and Mary whooped and danced, and so did Carrie, so she not one. "It's yours, Ma. It's your new cook stove," she shouted. "It's got an oven. 4 little handle," Mary said. "It's got letters on it and I can read them. P-A-T, pet." "Oh, Charlie, teacher," Ma said. "Pogger. Don't you worry, Caroline," he told her. "I never have worried, Charlie," Ma answered. "Building a house and glass windows and buy a stove is too much." "Nothing's too much for you," said Pa. "And don't worry about the expense. Just look through that glass at that wheat field." But Laura and Mary pulled her to the cook stove. She lifted the lid as Laura showed her. She watched while Mary worked the rod. She looked at the oven. "Mom," she said, "I don't tell you my dad tried to get in on the big, beautiful stove." But she did get in on that wonderful stove, and Mary and Laura set the table in the bright, airy room. The glass windows were open here, and light came in from every side, and sunshine was streaming in through the doorway and shining beside it. It was such fun to eat in that big, airy lighthouse. Set up the dinner, they sat at the table, just enjoying being there. "Now this is something like," Pa said. Then they put up the curtains, glass windows, muslin curtains, and Ma had made some pieces of worn sheets, starched with narrow strips of pretty calico. The curtains in the big room were edged with pink strips from Carrie's dress that had been torn from the oxen ran away. The bedroom curtains was edged with strips from Mary's old dress. There was the pink calico and the blue calico that Pa brought home from town long ago in the big woods. While Pa was driving nails to hold the strings for the curtains, Ma brought out 2 long strips of brown wrapping paper that she had saved. She folded them and she showed Mary and Laura how to cut tiny bits out of folded paper with scissors. When each unfolded the paper, there was a row of stars. Ma spread the paper on the shelves behind the stove. The stars shone over the edges of the shelves and the light shone through them. When the curtains were up, Ma hung 2 snowy clean sheets across the corner of the bedroom. That made a nice place where Pa and Ma could hang their clothes. Up in the attic, Ma put another sheet that Mary and Laura could hang their clothes behind. The house was beautiful when Ma had finished. The pure white curtains would look back on each side of the clear glass windows. Between those pink-edged snowy curtains, the sunshine streamed in. The walls were all clean, peony, smelly boards with the skeleton of a house against him, and the ladder going up to the attic. The cook stove and the stovepipe was glossy black, and in the corner were starry shelves. Ma spread between meals red checked cloth on the table, and on it she set a shining clean lamp. She laid there the paper-covered Bible, the bakery wonders at Animal World, and the novel named Meal Bank. The two benches stood neatly by the table. The last thing, Pa hung the bracket on the wall by the front window, and Ma stood the little china shepherdess on it. There was a wood brown bracket that Ma had carved with stars and vines and flowers for Ma's Christmas long ago. That was the same smiling little shepherdess with golden hair and blue eyes and pink cheeks. Her little china body laced with china gold ribbons, and the little china apron and the little china shoes. She had traveled from the big woods all the way to Indian Territory and all the way to Plum Creek and Minnesota. And then she stood smiling. She was not broken. She was not nicked or even scratched. She was the same little shepherdess, smiling the same smile. That night, Mary and Laura climbed the ladder and went to bed by themselves in a large, airy, very own attic. They did not have curtains because I had no more sheets, but each had a box to sit on, and each had a box to keep her treasures in. Charlotte and the paper dolls slept in Laura's box, and Mary's quilt blocks and a scrap bag were in Mary's box. Beyond the curtain, each had a nail to take a nightgown off and hang a rest on. The single thing wrong with that room was that Jack could not climb up the ladder. Laura went to sleep at once. She had been running in and out of the new house and up and down the ladder all day long, but she could not stay asleep. The new house was so still she missed the sound of the creek singing to her in sleep. Stillness kept waking her. At last it was the sound to open her eyes. She listened. It was the sound of many, many little feet running about overhead. It seemed to be thousands of little animals scrambling on the roof. What could it be? Why, it was raindrops. Laura had not heard rain pattering on the roof for so long that she had forgotten the sound of it. In the dugout, she could not hear rain. There was so much earth and grass above her. She was happy while she lay rousing to sleep again, hearing the patter of rain on the roof. So we have read one chapter in 8 minutes. Let's continue. The old crab and the bloodsuckers. Okay. When Laura jumped out of bed in the morning, her bare feet standing on the smooth wooden floor. She smelled the tiny smell of boards. Overhead was a slanting roof of yellow brush shingles and the rafters holding them up. From the eastern window, she saw a little path going down the grassy lawn. She saw a square corner of the pale green silky wheat field, and beyond it, the gray-green oats. Far, far away was the edge of the gray-green earth and a silver streak of sunset peeping over it. The Willow Creek and the dugout seemed far away and long ago. Suddenly, warm yellow sunshine poured over her in a nightgown. On the clean wood yellow floor, the panes of the windows were sunshine. The little bars between them were shadow. As Laura sat in the nightcap, her braids and hands were all the separate fingers when she held them up, with darker, solid shadow. Downstairs, the lids clattered on a new farm cook stove. Ma's voice came up through the square hole where the ladder went down. Mary, Laura, time to get up, girls. That's the way a new day began in a new house. But while they would eat breakfast in the large area downstairs, Laura wanted to see the creek. She asked Pa if she might go back to play there. No, Laura, Ma said. I want you to go back to the creek where the dark, deep holes are. But when your work is done, you and Mary run along the path and answer me coming to work. and see what you find. They hurried to do the work, and in the lean-to they found the potting broom. There seemed no end to the wonders in this house. The broom had a long, straight, perfectly round, smooth handle. The broom pots were made of thousands of thin, stiff, greeny yellow bristles. One said that they were broom straws. They were cut absolutely straight across the bottom, and they curved at the top into flat, firm shoulders. Stitched of red string held tight these brooms, nothing like the wren, willow, or brooms that Paul made. It seemed too fun to sweep with, and it glided over the smooth floor like magic. Still, Laura and Mary could hardly wait to follow Zach's path. They walked fast, she put away the broom, and they started. Laura was such in a hurry that she walked nicely only a few steps, then she began to run. Her bonnet slid back and hung by strings around her neck, and the bare feet flew over the dim, grassy path. Down the knoll, across the bit of level land, up a slow slope, and there was the creek. Laura was astonished. There was just a different-looking creek too, so gentle in the sun between its low grassy banks. The path stopped in the shade of a great willow tree. A footbridge went on across the water to level, sunny grass. Then the dim path wandered on until it curved around a tiny hill and went out of sight. Laura thought that the little path went on forever, wandering on sunny grass, crossing friendly streams, and always going around below hills to see what was on the other side. She knew really must go to Mr. Nelson's house, but it was a little path that did not want to stop anywhere. It wanted always to be going on. The creek kept falling out of the thickets on the plum trees. The low trees grew thickly on both sides of the narrow water, and the moss almost touched above it. The water was back in the shade. Then it spread out and ran wide and shallow, dimpling and splashing over sand and gravel. It narrowed to slide under the footbridge and ran on gurgling till it stopped in a large pool. The pool was glassy steel by a clump of willows. Laura waited till Mary came. So they went wading in the shallow water over the sparkling sand and pebbles. Tiny minnows swam around its toes. When they stood still, the minnows snippled at their feet. Suddenly, Laura saw a strange creature in the water. He was almost as long as Laura's foot. He was sleek and greeny brown. In front, he had two arms that ended in big, flat-spaced claws. Along his sides were sharp legs, and his strong tail was very scary, with the thin, forked fin at the end. Bruce looked at his nose and his eyes ran and bugged him. "What's that?" Mary said. She was scared. Laura did not go any nearer to him. She bent down cautiously to see him. Suddenly she was not there. Faster than a water buck, she shot backward, and a little curl of muddy water came out from under a flat rock where he had gone. In a minute, he cursed as the corn snapped it. Then he looked out. When Laura waded nearer, he flipped backward under the stone. But when he splashed water at the stone, he ran out, snapping his claws, trying to catch a pair of toads. Laura and Mary went screaming, splashing away from his home. They teased him with long, slick, big claws, snapped the stick right through. He got a bigger stick. He clamped his claw and did not let go till Laura rescued him out of the water. His eyes glared and his tail curled under him, and his another claw snapping, he let go and rocked, flipped under a stone again. He always came out, fighting mad, when they splashed at his stone. They always ran screaming away from his frightful claws. They sat for a while at the footbridge in the shade of the big willow. They listened to the water running, watched its sparkles. Then they went wading again, all the way to the plum thicket. Mary would not go into the dark water under the plum trees. The creek bottom was muddy there, and she did not like to wade in mud, so she sat there on the bank while Laura waded into the thicket. The water was still there, with leaves floating on its edge. The moss swirled between Laura's toes and came up in clouds, so she could not see the bottom. The air smelled old and musty, so Laura turned around and waded back into the clean water and the sunshine. There seemed to be some blobs of mud on her legs and feet. She splashed clear water over them to wash them off, but they did not wash off. Her hand could not scrape them off. They were the color of mud. They were soft like mud, but they stuck as tight as Laura's skin. Laura screamed. She stood there screaming, "Oh, Mary, Mary, come, quick!" Mary came. She would not shut those horrible things. Said they were worms. Worm made her sick. Laura was sicker than Mary. It was more awful to have those things on her than it was to touch them. She took hold of one. She dug her fingernails into it and pulled. The earth stretched out longer and longer and longer. Still it hung on. "Oh, don't go, you will pull it in two," Mary said. But Laura pulled it out longer till it came off. Blood trickled down her leg from the place where it had been. One by one, Laura pulled those things off. A little trickle of blood ran down with each one let go. Laura did not feel like playing anymore. She washed her hands and her legs in the clean water as she went to the house with Mary. It was dinner time and Pa was there. Laura told him about the small plantings without eyes, her head, her legs. They had fastened to a skin in the creek. Most they were leashes, and the doctors put them on sick people. But Pa called them bloodsuckers. He said they live in the mud, dark, still places in water. "I don't like them," Laura said. "They stay out of mud, flood, but said Pa. You don't want trouble, not to go looking for it." Pa said, "Well, you girls won't have much time for playing in the creek anyway. Now we are not settled, only 2.5 miles from town. You can go to school." Laura could not say a word. Neither could Mary, like Sharon thought. School? The fish trap. This is chapter number 3, and we have finished it at 18 minutes. So this causes 10 minutes. Let's read the final chapter. The more Laura was told about school, the more she did not want to go there. She did not know how she could stay away from the creek all day long. She asked, "Oh, Ma, do I have to?" Ma, since the great girl, almost 8 years old, should be learning to read instead of running wild on the banks of Plum Creek. "But I can read, Ma," Laura begged. "Please don't make me go to school. I can't read this." She took the book named Milbank and opened it and looked up anxiously as Ma. She read, and the door and windows of Milbank were closed. Grab screamed from the door. "Nope." "Oh, Laura," Ma said, "you're not reading. You're only reciting what you heard me read to Pa so often. Besides, there are things to learn. Spelling, writing, and arithmetic. Don't say any more about it. You start to school with Mary Monday morning." Mary was sitting nice to see you. She looked like a good little girl who wanted to go to school. She said suddenly into the door. Pa was hammering at something. Laura went bounding out so quickly that his hammer nearly hit her. "Oop," said Pa. "Not hit you that time." "I should have expected you," Fleur said. "You were always on hand like a sore thumb." "Oh, what are you doing, Ma?" Pa Laura asked him. He was nailing together some narrow strips of board that's from house building. "Making a fish trap," said Pa. "Want to help me? You can hand me the nails." One by one, Laura handed him the nails, and Pa rolled them in. They were making a skeleton box. It was a long, narrow box without a top and Ma left wide cracks between the stripes of wood. "How was that catch fish?" Laura asked. "If you put it in the creek, they will swim through the cracks, but they will swim right out again. You wait and see, said Pa. Laura waited till Pa put away the nails and hammer. He put the fish on his shoulder and said, "You can come and help me set it." Laura took his head and skipped beside him down the road and across the level to the creek. They went along the low bank, past the plum thicket. The banks were steeper here. The creek was narrower. Its noise was louder. Pa went crashing down through the bushes. Laura climbed, scooching down under them as there was a waterfall and fell over it with a loud, surprising crash, splashing. From the bottom it rushed up again and whirled around. Then it jumped and hurried away. Laura would never have tired of watching it, but she must have passed a fish trap. They put it exactly under the waterfall. The old waterfall went into the trap and boiled up again, more surprised than before. It would not jump out of the trap. It foamed out through the cracks. "Now you see, Laura," said Pa. "The fish would go over would fall into the trap, and the little ones would go out through the cracks, but big ones can't. They can climb back out of the falls. So they would stay swimming in the boats till I come and take them out." That very minute, a big fish came slithering over the falls. Laura squealed, shouted, "Look, Pa, look!" Pa says it was a rat fish, lifted it as flopping. Laura almost fell into the waterfall. She looked at the silvery, flat fish, and then Pa rubbed him into the trap again. "Oh, Pa, will you please stay and catch enough fish for supper?" Laura asked. "I got to get to work on the salt barn," Laura said. Pa and the plow in the garden and dig well, and he looked at Laura and said, "Well, the Prince, maybe it would take long." He sat on his heels and Laura sat on hers as they waited. The creek poured, splashed waves of sand and always changing. Glints of sunshine danced on it. Cool air came up from it, and warm air lay on Laura's neck. The bushes lit up thousands of little leaves against the sky. They smelled warm and sweet in the sun. "Oh, Pa," Laura said, "do I have to go to school?" "You will like school," Laura said. "Pa, I like it better here," Laura said mournfully. "I know, little Hopkins," said Pa, "but isn't everybody that gets a chance to learn to read, write, and cipher? Your mom was a school teacher when we met, and when she came with me, I promised that our girls would have a chance to get book learning. That's why we stop here, so girls get a chance at school. You're almost 8 years old now, and Mary going on 9. It's time you begin. Be thankful you've got the chance, Laura." "Yes, Pa," Laura sighed. Just then, another big fish came over the falls. For Pa caught it, here came another. Pa cut the piece of the frog stick. He took 4 big fish at the trap and struck our stick. Laura and Pa went back to the house carrying the spot fish. My eyes were round when she saw them. Pa cut out the heads and struck out the insides, showed Laura how to scale fish. Scale 3, scale almost all 1. Ma rolled them in meal, fried them in fat. They all a good fish for supper. He always think of something Charlie's Ma. She's been wondering where our living is to come from. Now spring, Ma said. Pop not in the springtime, for then all the rabbits and little rabbits and the birds in the nest. Which rabbits that we eat, Pa said. And we have salt pork every day. Yes, my gravy and fresh beef. Every morning after that, before he went to work, Pa brought fish from the trap. He never took more than they need to eat. The others, he left it at the trap and let swim away. He brought buffalo fish and pickerel, and catfish, shiners, and boarheads with 2 black horns. He brought some whose names he did not know. Every day there was fish for breakfast and fish for dinner and fish for supper. So, there's 6 more minutes to go. I don't know if it's enough to read like 1 more chapter. I know, but I'm very tired. So goodbye, Sarah and Leslie.